Hey guys, it's me, Flowery. I've caught mysterious wind that you all were trying to get a Will Wood to say Jarona, and a certain someone wrote a whole essay. The original poster of the clip voiced it over, and I thought this would be a funny addition. I hope it makes flowers blooms in your heart, and without further ado, here I come! They do know they can just Google Jarona, right? Or what is Jarona Delta Rune? So easy. If they think it's a bad word, they can check. Assuming is very dangerous to do. Never assume. You can guess, but try to confirm. Check. Never assume. Otherwise, you judge a book by its cover. That leads to consequences. For example, a seemingly homeless man actually being rich, and it was a test. Sure, maybe people will be nicer to the homeless in hopes that it's just a test. Good things done for selfish reasons are still good things done. As long as it's not taken the right away after, it's still important to inspire others to do good things. Sure, it's better if it's done out of the goodness of their hearts, but humanity is a duality of selfish and selfishness. Selfish and selflessness, holy. Technically, babies are selfish, but they're valid excuses that they have to be to survive. With this in mind, our selfishness may relate to our emotions and our self-preservation stuff from evolution. In other words, leftovers that get in the way today, stuff we're still working on. There was a test done on some apes before, and they were selfish. Compare that to a test done with birds, and the birds were actually sharing. Like they didn't need to, but they did. For some reason, apes are more selfish. We descended from apes. Nobody is perfect, but a few things make more sense now. Also, hit a test done between autistics and neurotypicals. When asked if they'd do something immoral if nobody would find out, the autistics said no, but a lot of the neurotypicals, aka normal people, said yes. I didn't actually read this before I voiced this over. What is this? What was the resulting conclusion? Autistics are morally rigid. How is being more honest a bad thing? There's a lot of people who run the world who have the mindset of, yes, I'd do it if nobody found out, or I'll build the torture device because I won't make the same mistakes the guy in some dystopia movie did. In other words, arrogance and ego. Yes, we have pride, but logic is important too, along with empathy. Unfortunately, the world doesn't promote empathy anymore. They keep tearing people apart, making everybody fight each other. Groups of people are pitted against each other. But anyway, I ramble. That's not what you're here for today. But yeah, judging a book by its cover is very dangerous. This is also important because if you assume, yes, I can take him, then you risk being beaten up. If you think you can take on that guy based on only confidence and no actual logic-based plan, along with any backup plan, then you are going to fail. Also, you also don't assume that shady-looking people or some weird people are bad. Some of them are actually quite nice. For example, most of the weird-looking people your parents might say to avoid because they take drugs or something. Again, that is prejudice. Yes, stereotypes come from somewhere, but not everyone is like that. Judge someone based on their actions, not based on their looks. Sure, you are free to be cautious, but one should not assume. Another problem is innocent before proven guilty has been flipped. Nowadays, people have to be proven to be innocent. When people make allegations and accusations, people have had their lives ruined based on unproven accusations with no concrete evidence. So again, don't assume. You can guess, but check. Do research. Investigate. Confirm. Of course, confirmation bias is another thing to mention. It's very easy to just look at stuff that you agree with and use that without looking for stuff that negates such. It's important to check both sides of the argument. I don't engage in an internet drama usually because it's usually just meaningless. If there's a YouTuber I see who's accused of something, it's important that I check both sides. There's some drama going on and I'm curious, I may ask both sides. I don't know, but I'd never get involved. I never really had to. Most dramas that have existed near me ended before I noticed. There's one server that by the time I got online, it already ended. As for another friend of mine went through, there wasn't much I could do, so I didn't really do much in the drama itself. Instead, I just made sure my friend was okay. Since it was between two friends, I asked both sides. Plus, it turned out that not much had actually happened, but because bystanders recorded it, it looked worse. I know both people. Neither would hurt the other. Yet one is accused and based on no actual evidence. Then there's a random drama I found about a friend of a friend who was canceled because their boyfriend was a supporter of a right-wing party in America. Like, they weren't even described as the extreme. They were more relaxed, yet were treated like an extreme supporter. So again, don't judge a book by its cover. Don't assume. Jarona!